color this man father.
Color him father.
I think I'll color him love.
Color him love.
Said I'm gonna color him father.
Welcome to another Color Him Dads podcast. I'm excited to have this opportunity to sit in for our host, Marvin Charles. Today, my name is Larry Brooks, and I'm grateful to be sitting alongside of one of our great, I would almost call him one of the pioneers of this great organization, DADS, Divine Alternatives for Dad Services, Mr. Eddie Hendrix. And Hendrix? I already messed it up. Hendrix.
Yes.
I was thinking Eddie Kendricks of the...
You're dating yourself.
Oh, okay. Of the Temptations, right? Welcome, man. How you doing today, man?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Good. It's good to be here, man. Knowing the history and my short, long tender of being here and being a part of DADS, you're pretty well known in this community, and your plight, a little bit of your story that I know has been an amazing story. So I'm excited about having this opportunity to sit down and do a chat with Eddie, because it's a great story, a great motivational and great inspirational story today. So how you been, man?
Wonderful. Through the holidays.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Happy
yes.
New Year. Yeah. The year's off to a great start, and you're just now coming into work. Are you still part of the VA hospital? What are you doing now?
Well, yes, I'm still up at the VA for a few more years.
Okay.
And after that, the future is just brighter.
Okay. Good.
Another
Great
retirement.
anticipation for... So you were military.
Yes.
Right. Tell me a little bit about that, man.
I served in two branches. First, I was served in the United States Navy. Then I ended up in the National Guard.
Okay.
And ended up getting a medical retirement from the National Guard for my service overseas.
Oh, okay.
So,
how old were you when you entered into the military branch?
19.
Really young?
Yeah, 19. Yeah.
Okay.
Had to get off the streets.
Yeah. And so you've been around this community about how long, would you say?
23 years.
23 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a long time, brother.
Yeah.
That's a long time. What brought you into the doors?
Well, a little bit of my story people don't know about is I got incarcerated after I lost my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And because she was down in Georgia. And after that little hiccup, I ended up getting incarcerated, and the programs that they had down in Georgia, the drug, what do they call it, the drug program?
Right.
Well, it was impossible for me to complete.
Oh.
That's just the way it was set up.
Okay.
The way these things are set up, it's nearly impossible. They don't let you drive.
Mm-hmm.
They don't let you do the other things that you could do to get your life together.
So this is after sentencing,
after sentencing, everything, and you have to actually have someone stop their lives in order to help you through this program.
Right.
And that just wasn't happening. People just can't stop their lives. And I didn't see a way out. So I left.
So how long after this incident took place that had you in that situation after you had done your tender with the military? How long after?
So it's a God piece in there too.
Okay.
Definitely
want to hear that.
So after I left Georgia and came out here, I bought a bag of McDonald's cheeseburgers and a 2-liter soda, and I got on a Greyhound bus.
Okay.
I had no idea where I was going.
Wow.
I mean, well, I knew I was coming to Seattle.
Okay.
I wanted to get as far away from Georgia as I possibly could.
Okay.
And I did. 3 days on a Greyhound bus. I came here. My intention was to go fishing, get on a fishing boat.
Did you know anybody here?
Nobody.
Wow.
Well, I had been here in the military, but I didn't know. I was stationed over in PSN as Bremerton.
Okay.
This was in the 80s.
Right.
So when I came out here, went to the downtown. I was going to the Salvation Army in order to get situated to go get on a fishing boat.
Okay.
Well, that didn't work because it was a Saturday. Salvation Army was closed. I had no idea where I was at or what to do. So when I saw this downtown emergency shelter, so I went in there. I had a couple, 2 or 3 cigarettes.
You remember the name of the shelter?
Downtown Emergency Shelter.
That was it.
That was it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was it. So I went down there and they gave, I sat in there, I was just looking around. I was just like, man, how did I get here? It was just like, then I was like, I can't stay here. Because I don't know if you remember the movie, One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So that was what I pictured myself. I was in that situation.
Wow.
I was like, so I just got up and walked out.
Okay.
Didn't have a clue to where I was going. And when I just walked and I walked and I saw Union Gospel.
UGM.
Had no idea what it was about. All I remember is gospel. It was the gospel. So went there, talked to a few people, and they told me this is how it works. This was a Saturday now, getting the ins and out. They was like, well, if they got a discipleship program and you want to get in the program, you got to show that you're worthy, and after a few weeks they'll allow you in. Well, God had other plans. So when I got there that Saturday, I met a guy named Michael Lewis, Biggie.
Biggie Lewis.
Biggie.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he in the program?
He wasn't in the program. He was a facilitator.
Wow.
He was on staff.
Okay.
He was staff. So he said, hey, come here. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go down here to 1501, something. It was a 15 up on Jackson, 12th and Jackson, 1501 club.
Right.
So I went up there. He gave me a couple of bus tickets. And when you come back here, let me know. So I got back and talked to him. Okay. He said, okay, help with these mats. Put these mats down for people to sleep. So did all of that. Monday morning, I was called into the chaplain's office, and I was put into the program.
Wow.
So God is already
That's
working.
amazing. When you say the word UGM, or Union Gospel Mission, it brought chills to me. I'm still currently a part of that community. I did a decade of volunteering with the Women and Children's Shelter, teaching chemical dependency classes, and also biblical studies.
Yes.
Right? And so when I onboarded here at DADS, I was unable to continue doing that work. But last year, they actually gave me, because I started a chemical recovery group, and they actually gave me access to a bus. So every Tuesday now, I go pick up a group of women, right? And they come to the recovery meeting. And now the men are actually coming to the meeting as well. And then another mission, the Bread of Life mission, men are actually coming there. So I sort of have great stories about UGM myself, that's pretty well. So now you're here, you have Seattle, you got into a little trouble, you lost your mother, you're here, the story starts in Seattle, right? What brought you to the doors of DADS?
Well, when I was at UGM, there was a group of men from the east side that came over, I think I want to say over Lake, and they was wanted to start a mentorship with some men in this community, in the urban area, urban setting. And so, I met this guy. So my mind, I'm still cloudy, but I'm clearing my head, and I'm thinking I'm in the program, but after the program, I want to work and do this and that and the other. So, and I met this guy. He was an electrical engineer. And that's what I heard. because that's what I did in the military. I did
Okay.
electrical work, right?
Okay.
And I was just like, okay, I want to get to know him. So, and we struck up a conversation, and we became friends, and he would, we would meet for lunch, and and then he said, I got somebody I want you to meet.
Okay.
And it was Marvin from DADS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the guy introduced me, a friend of mine introduced me to Marvin.
And that's how many years ago?
23.
23, and Dad's is only been
29.
26, well, going on 27 this year. We'll be 27. Wow, really?
Yeah.
So you were there from like almost the beginning.
Yeah.
Were you part of it when they were doing the dads out of the house, or had they had the office already?
No, they was in the house. I just wasn't in the house.
Okay. Okay.
You understand that?
Yeah, I do. So now you meet Marvin, and how are you doing in your life journey at this particular point?
I can't.
Is it a healthy moment?
It's healthy. It's a healthy moment. Other than some other life challenges, just going through life, I'm at a good place.
Okay.
I'm looking, to retire, in a few years, so I can start some other works or get, closer to community work with dads, So that's where I'm at. I'm in a hopeful place.
Great.
Yeah.
I know your faith walk is really important to you.
Yeah.
Right. Speak about that for a minute. How, through all your life challenges that you came through, right? It was pretty traumatic times, right? How has your faith journey helped in that?
It has actually increased tremendously, because being in a position where you have no control or being powerless, and to know and understand what that really is, that's some faith. That takes a lot of faith, because I spent some time overseas, and I didn't think I was going to ever be in the United States ever again.
Wow.
So that right there, and I'll just say, I spent 13 months in Iraq, and that was a humbling experience.
Okay.
And so that has, God answered that prayer to have me be back on the United States soil. I'm totally elated behind that, so. But, and I got an opportunity now on a daily basis to give back.
Okay.
Because I work at the VA hospital.
Okay.
So, and that's therapeutic for me, because there's some guys up there that went through some of the same things that I went through, but came out a lot worse.
Post-traumatic.
Yes.
Wow. That's a real thing.
So I give back.
Okay.
As much as I can.
Yeah.
So, and I continue to give back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Speak about some of the things that, with your involvement now, what are you doing now in DADS as a part? You met Marvin years ago, 20 plus odd years ago. Where are you at as far as our organization? Talk about that. Let the people know what you do.
Just waiting for the next order, because this is a relationship. Being in this organization, it's a relationship within relationships. And you build more relationships, and it's basically makes a stronger community.
Okay.
A stronger group of men. And it makes our community better. So.
So what I'm trying to get to is, what position do you hold now? That's what I'm trying to get to.
I'm a board member, executive board member.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty amazing story all in itself, right?
Yeah. I'm just waiting for Marvin's, more instructions.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
actually seeing the growth and where we're at now from the old office to this new office, what type of sense of excitement, or how does that make you feel, seeing the growth of this?
Oh, man.
I mean, because you're part of the brain thrust, and
seeing the growth of this. Well, I'm not a real a data guy, but I've been able to see some of the numbers that has improved over the years with DADS being in place.
yes,
So that alone right there, there's so much more that's going to happen through this program.
yeah.
There's so much more that's going to happen. You hear me?
Well, we've seen over 6,600 people
Yeah.
in those matter of years.
So,
right?
and that's just Seattle.
Yeah.
That's just Washington, Tacoma, and Seattle. Man, it's bigger than that, man.
Yeah,
It's bigger than that. We don't see it yet, but I know that's faith.
yes,
It's bigger than just Seattle.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think some of the most exciting times for me being a part of this organization is actually having the opportunity to work with men who are in the battle of having the visitations and regaining or having the opportunity to be a part of their children's lives, and the wall of systems, right? Having to navigate through these systems. And it pulls at my heart, right? Because most of the men that walk through our doors are in the lower income status, and they can't afford attorneys or anything like that. And they come in broken, right? Just wanting to be a part of their children's lives. So the amazing stories that come out of this ministry, right, is pretty amazing. Children, do you have any children yourself?
Yes.
How many?
I have 4 boys.
Oh, I am so jealous of you right now. Mines are just the opposite. Well, yeah. Really?
4 boys. My oldest is 39.
Okay.
And
see, I didn't know this.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 14 grandkids.
You have 14. I have 10.
Yeah.
Again, he beats me again. That's awesome.
So, and my 3 sons, my oldest 3, I was estranged from them when I first came to DADS. And but God has restored our relationship.
So being a part of this organization, being a close relationship that you and Marvin have, I do parenting classes, and with the curriculum that Marvin has created. And Eddie, I tell you the truth, at age 67, I go home and I use that stuff at home. And there's an overflow with my grandkids and my children because I was absent at certain parts of that. And now I have a chance to redeem that time. So is that what you're speaking about?
Yes, absolutely.
Being a part of this. Speak about that. How does that?
Well, now there is a whole curriculum, but mine came from just sheer experience from walking with Marvin.
Walking with Marvin.
Yeah,
relational.
Just that relationship. Just, hey, this is what I think. Always giving suggestions. Marvin was always giving suggestions and advice. And hey, man, I'm living proof that it worked.
Yeah.
He said something right.
Yeah. It seems like it's a pretty nice organization where you see the CEO who really has an open door policy.
Yes.
To see him walk out the back of the office at all time, and his wife as well, the COO, and really, they don't have to deal with the clients, but they still do. And
yes.
Marvin gives out that personal
hands-on approach.
Yeah. And you've experienced that, right? And so it overflowed to your sons. How?
It just gave me a more patience with them. It gave me a better understanding of how the absence of me not being in their life affected them, and it gave me a platform to start to build the bridge.
Wow.
To restore that. And for the most part, it has. I've gone down to my son, one of my sons, he's in Arizona. 5 years ago, I went down there, and he has 7 kids.
Well, make sure you build that relationship. I'm a golfer, so, when you go visit him, I'll tag along with you. And then we do the golf.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell me more.
He's, and I spent, 2 weeks down there with, him and my grandkids, and just building that relationship, just hearing my grandpa, that's that's so amazing. It's a feeling that it's undescribable until you experience it.
Right.
This is my seed.
That's your legacy, man.
My legacy, So, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense, man. And I think that's what's been the eye-opener for me, being a part of this community. And then I try to build on that to tell that, share that with these young men in this community, the importance of knowing their legacy, coming out of a storied background, right? Most of them come in from a background with an institutional background, re-entry, right? Also, chemical dependency has some type of effect with them, and they're just young.
Yeah.
They're just young. One of the things that hit us, and I think it's, some say epidemic, I say pandemic, is fatherlessness.
Yes.
Right? The data shows the devastating disadvantage it has to not having a father in our lives. And then you and I both have been having the opportunity to redeem that time.
Yes.
So I have very sentimental about feeling how you feel to have a second chance to be a part of those men's lives. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So your goal aspirations, I might be wrong, but one day after you retire is doing a bigger part here at DADS?
Yes. Yeah.
What is it? If you had to spell that out, what would that look like?
Well, continue to walk alongside with you, because I didn't know your UGM story.
Yeah.
So, I think, for me, I just want to get more involved, with what Dad is already doing. You can't reinvent the wheel.
Right. That piece.
You can't reinvent the wheel, but we can tweak some things, and so that the biggest thing for me is continuing to reestablish our identity as men.
Right. Say that.
So that the guys that come after us, they don't have to be in that same situation or the same circumstance. So just continue to teach.
Yes.
Each one teach one.
So it's funny because what I've witnessed over the past 7 years is I see the guys that I went to school with, I see their sons and their grandsons, and here I am, right? But we've learned that it's lived experience that we're able to share with them. And when they walk through this door, I let them know, hey, you just entered into a fraternity for the rest of your life. We're here with you. It just doesn't stop after the court process, because you're going to have those ebb and flows of life. You're going to have more valley experience than peaks experience, and that's when they need to be able to resonate with us, right? To be able to speak to us. How did you make it through, Eddie? How did you come through this storm when you were young? Those are the stories that they need to hear from us elders, and I think that's very important. And I look forward, I'm excited about the possibility of you having that opportunity to be able to, and even if sometimes if you're not doing nothing, just come in and just share, because you're here. If you're just here and you see somebody in the room and be able to dip in, I'd like to be able to say, hey, but Eddie, can you share with him how you made it out, because your story resonates with so many people, right? If there's any pressing thing on your heart, if you had to share with the young folks that are listening out there today, what would you tell these young men who are young? How old were you when you had your first son?
21.
What would your message be to these young men who are having children?
Yeah, you have to learn to trust someone. You got, if you don't have no one in your life that you can trust and that you can confide in, and have that strong relationship with, and that's what I have noticed, in my adult life, as an African American, we don't have we have trust issues.
So are you speaking mentors,
Yes.
leaders? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have that trust.
Right.
You know, because a lot of our youth out there now, they're on an island.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're trying to do stuff on their own because they think that's what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what they think that's what they're supposed to be doing because they saw somebody else doing it.
Right. Social media
Yeah.
plays a big event. And,
Yeah.
the media industry in itself, from the music to the movies,
Yeah.
can have a great influence on the lives of young people, right? They try to emulate. I know that's what happened to me, right? Coming up, I came from a good, solid home, mother and father and everything, but then we were going through that time, and then they put on the Mac. And then after that came Superfly, and I was off and running.
Yeah.
And then after that, for my son, they had Boys in the Hood and Colors,
Yep.
and that sent that generation into a tailspin, right? And then it just seemed like it escalated, and it's systems,
The systems, yes.
right? The
Yeah.
systems for these young men who come up, and I mean, Eddie, they're crying.
Yes.
What am I going to do next? The courts are against me. And so we call ourselves system navigators, first of all, to get these young men to understand they have to have an attitude adjustments, like what you shared, right? Can you tell us what was the biggest adjustment that you made in your life that brought you in the maturity of being the father you need to be?
Well, in that drug world, when I was dibbling and dabbling in that, and knowing that's not what my mom or my father would want for me, I just remember being out there, and I was like, man, I just need to, I'm tired of being awake while the city comes awake. I want to wake up and I want to go to work. I want to get me a job. I want to, get up and go to work, not be out here. And then, something shifted in me because I came back and I went back to UGM. They allowed me to come back because I was a graduate, because I came back from Iraq. I was homeless,
So you had 2 tenders at UGM.
Yeah.
Wow.
As a graduate, they allowed me to stay on the graduate floor.
Okay.
And I got myself, I just needed that break away from the substance, for a period, And I got that break, got back into the graduate program, and they allowed me to work. And so, and I went to work, and I met my son's mother, my youngest son. And she got pregnant. We got married. She got pregnant. But that was the game changer for me.
Okay.
That was my second chance. Because my first
second chance at being a father.
Yes, because my first boys was taken away from me while I was overseas.
Wow.
Yeah, I came home off of deployment. My house was empty. So I kind of went haywire with that. And for a long period of time, for 10 to 15 years, I didn't know where my kids was at. And then when I got introduced to DADS, that's when I started probing and prodding.
Really?
Yeah.
How did DADS help you in that way?
Well, they said, first you got to find out where your kids are at, because I didn't know where it was at. And
so if I go in, I can pull you up in the system?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, man. I'm learning every day. Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a casual meeting. You met Marvin, and then you guys.
No, because they was in the system. The kids
Really?
was in. My kids was, they was like, we can't tell you exactly where they at, but they're in the state of California.
Were they still with the mother?
Yeah. And then I went through the courts, and then they said, oh, they're not here no more. They're in Georgia. So I had a 3-way child support check. Pennsylvania, California, Georgia. So and they in California and Pennsylvania was like, well, why are we just having this being a conduit for Georgia? So they kind of got themselves out of the way, and Georgia, it went straight to them. But so that was a period of my life where I was just like, I was lost without my boys. And then, but when I met, got myself situated, I had another opportunity with my youngest son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where, it just changed my life.
So Marvin and safe to say, you guys are like brothers.
Yeah.
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 That's good. And again, it's good to know the power of relationships. I think that's something that's through this interview that has stuck out to me. The power of relationships, having those relationships, somebody to be there, somebody that you can talk to, someone that you can lean on. And like you said earlier, somebody that you can trust. Yeah. Tell me about your activity in your community and your church family. What are you doing there, man?
Well, I'm right now, because of work, my schedule is kind of a little hectic. I start work at 5 a.m, so I get to go to church. I have to rest on sometimes. I got to rest.
Yeah.
So, but I visited a couple of other churches that have an earlier service, that I can, attend.
Okay.
So I don't have to, it's, but I'm still, right now I'm in a season where I'm just walking with God.
Yeah.
I said all that to say that. I'm in a season.
I think everybody's spirituality is,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a religious thing. I think it's an individual. Our spirituality, everything is different, right? And I know that you are a man of faith. And I really appreciate you opening and sharing your story. It's my prayer that somebody will hear this and be encouraged to steady the course, stay the faith, right? Because that's what it does.
Yes.
Right? To not give up during tough times. And from what I've heard from you, there's a redemptive part of us, right? I fallen, but I didn't give up.
Didn't give up.
You got up.
Got up.
And you're still. And so thank you for your commitment to this community, right? The work and the decisions that you guys do on the board, right? We hardly get a chance. I think we were down in Oregon together, right?
No, I didn't.
You
I make
it,
that.
huh?
I had a medical issue.
Oh,
No, I wanted to. So
that
bad.
was a time that we were. It was pretty good time, man. That we had a chance hear the people here, and then the fellowship with the board was. That was a pretty neat experience, right? And so the board is growing, right? You guys added a couple more members. So that must be some exciting time. New voices, new ideas.
Yeah, and just watching how, how people absorb what is happening and seeing how they, want to engage. Yeah, it's awesome.
And it's pretty awesome because it's all about the growth here at DADS, right? And we appreciate those who support us over 26 years. We defy the odds of people actually, our donor base normally stays with you. National data says for so many years. Our donor base has been with us for over 26 years.
Wow,
that's amazing. And that speaks to the work and the success that we're doing here. So thank you again, man, for sharing with us. Thank you again for tuning in with us at another episode of Color Me Dads. And keep us in prayer, and we're going to continue to do the work. Again, thank you for being so open and sharing with us today.
Well,
I
thank
appreciate you.
All right.